Long ago, in a time when the world was young and wild, people had turned their hearts away from what was right. Darkness filled the earth, not the kind you see when the sun goes down, but a darkness in people's thoughts and actions. Violence, greed, lies, cruelty. Everywhere you looked, people were doing whatever they wanted, no matter who it hurt. But there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was kind, honest, faithful. He loved God and lived the way he was meant to. And while the rest of the world laughed at the idea of goodness, Noah walked a different path. He listened. And one day, he heard something no one else did. God spoke to Noah. Not with thunder or fire, but with a quiet, clear command. God told Noah that a great flood was coming. A flood that would wash away the evil from the world. But it wouldn't be the end, it would be a new beginning. And God wanted Noah to build something that had never been built before, an ark. A huge wooden ship. Not for sailing, but for surviving. And God gave Noah the plans. Exact measurements. Instructions down to the last detail. He told him to make it large enough to hold 2 of every kind of animal, male and female. Birds, beasts, crawling creatures. Lions and lambs. Giraffes and grasshoppers. Every creature that walked or flew or crawled on the earth would have a place. And so Noah began to build. People thought he was insane. Why build a boat on dry land? They laughed. There's not a drop of rain. But Noah kept working. Day after day. Year after year. Hammering, sawing, trusting. His sons helped him, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And his wife stood beside him, just as faithful. The ark took decades to complete. It stretched longer than a football field and stood as tall as a building. A floating house for the future. Then, the animals began to come. They didn't need to be rounded up or chased. They came on their own, just as God said they would. 2 by 2, they filed in, elephants and eagles, wolves and wombats, snakes and squirrels. The ark became a living museum of every creature under the sky. And then came the rain. At first, just a drizzle. But soon, the skies opened and the earth groaned. Water gushed from below and poured from above. Rivers rose, lakes burst their banks. People who had laughed at Noah stopped laughing. But it was too late. The door to the ark had been shut, sealed by God's own hand. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain never stopped. Mountains vanished beneath the waves. Trees disappeared. Homes were swept away. But inside the ark, there was peace. Noah, his family, and the animals were safe. They floated on a sea with no shore, rocking gently in the hands of God. The clouds began to break. The sun warmed the earth again. But the world was still covered in water. Days passed. Then weeks. Then months. The ark drifted until one day it came to rest on a mountaintop, Mount Ararat. Noah waited. He sent out a raven. It flew back and forth but never found a place to rest. Then he sent a dove. The first time, it returned with nothing. The second time, it brought back a fresh olive leaf in its beak. Life was returning. And on the third time, the dove didn't come back. It had found dry land. So Noah opened the ark. The animals tumbled out, stretching legs and wings, leaping into the new world. The sky was clear. The ground was clean. And everything felt fresh again. Noah didn't run off to start over right away. First, he built an altar. He gave thanks. He remembered who had saved him. And God saw his heart. He made a promise right then, a covenant with Noah and every living thing, that never again would the world be destroyed by flood. And as a sign of that promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky. A band of color that stretched across the heavens, reminding everyone who saw it that God keeps his word. That even when everything seems lost, there is always hope. And that one man, standing faithful, can change the course of history. That's the story of Noah and the ark. A story of warning, but also of rescue. A story of judgment, but also of love. A story that reminds us that even when the world seems broken, there's always a plan. Always a purpose. And always a way back to God.